Cryptocurrency has long seemed out of reach for most people. Complex, technical, and exclusive, the world of digital money was filled with jargon, complicated wallets, and a sense that you needed to be a tech expert just to get started. For years, the promise of a new kind of money, one that anyone could use, felt like it was reserved for a select few who could navigate the maze of private keys, exchanges, and blockchain technology. The original idea was simple: digital money, free from banks and governments, giving people more control over their finances. But in reality, using cryptocurrency was anything but simple. Setting up wallets, securing passwords, and understanding how to actually spend or transfer digital coins was a challenge for most. The dream of easy, borderless money seemed distant. Mining required expensive hardware and technical know-how, leaving most people out. The process was energy-intensive, noisy, and often not even profitable for the average person. It created a barrier that kept digital currency in the hands of a few, rather than opening it up to the world. Pi Network changed that by asking, what if you could mine crypto on your phone, just by tapping an app? No expensive computers, no technical background required. Suddenly, anyone with a smartphone could participate, making mining as easy as checking your messages. The goal: make digital currency accessible to everyone, everywhere. Whether you lived in a big city or a remote village, all you needed was a phone and an internet connection. Pi aimed to break down the barriers that kept so many people out of the digital economy. Millions joined, mining Pi daily, hoping it would one day have real value. Communities formed, friends invited friends, and the network grew rapidly. For many, it was their first step into the world of cryptocurrency, a chance to be part of something big from the very beginning. But Pi's vision was bigger than just collecting coins. It aimed to build a global financial ecosystem powered by its community. The idea was to create a network where people could trade, buy, and sell using Pi, connecting users across borders and backgrounds. The project moved slowly, building a massive, dedicated user base. Developers focused on security, scalability, and making sure the network could handle millions of users. The community's patience was tested, but excitement kept growing. By 2025, anticipation peaked. Pi was ready to move from a closed test to an open, real-world network. The countdown began, and users everywhere watched as the project prepared for its biggest leap yet. The big question: could a mobile-mined coin become real money? Would people actually use Pi to buy, sell, and trade in the real world? The stakes were high, and the world was watching. The world was about to find out, as digital money for your phone prepared to take its place on the global stage. For years, Pi existed within the boundaries of an enclosed mainnet, a digital walled garden where coins were locked inside the ecosystem, unable to move freely or interact with the broader world of cryptocurrencies. This unique approach was designed to protect the network as it grew. But it also meant that Pi holders could only imagine what true utility and value might look like. You could use Pi in a handful of test apps, experimenting with features and transactions, but you couldn't spend it in the real world or trade it on public exchanges. For many, this was a source of both anticipation and frustration, as the true potential of Pi remained just out of reach. Everything changed on February 20th, 2025, when Pi Network officially launched its open mainnet. This long-awaited event marked a turning point, as years of development and community building finally paid off. Suddenly, Pi transformed into a true cryptocurrency, able to connect with the wider blockchain world. It was no longer isolated, but part of a global network of digital assets and decentralized applications. Now, users could trade Pi on public exchanges, watching its value fluctuate in real time. Developers gained the freedom to build innovative apps and services on the Pi blockchain, without the previous restrictions that had limited their creativity. This was the project's biggest milestone to date, validating years of hard work, dedication, and belief from the global Pi community. It was a moment of celebration, as the vision of a decentralized, accessible digital currency became reality. For millions of pioneers around the world, it meant that the Pi they had mined and held for years finally had real, tradable value. Their patience and commitment were rewarded as Pi became a tangible asset with real-world significance. The open mainnet launch opened the door to a wave of new apps, services, and global participation. Entrepreneurs, businesses, and everyday users could now explore fresh opportunities, from decentralized finance to digital marketplaces, all powered by Pi. Users who completed KYC verification could move their Pi to personal wallets on the live blockchain, gaining full control over their assets and the ability to transact securely and transparently. The transition to open Mainnet was carefully managed by the Pi core team, ensuring a smooth migration for millions of users and maintaining the security and integrity of the network as it entered the open digital economy. Pi was no longer just a promise or a vision for the future, it had become a real public currency, ready to make its mark on the world of blockchain and beyond. Launching the open mainnet was huge, but Pi needed to bridge crypto and traditional finance. Most people still rely on banks, so making crypto as easy as cash was essential. In late 2025, Pi introduced instant bank connections. Users could link their bank accounts directly in the app. Verified users could convert Pi to local currency almost instantly, with funds deposited straight into their accounts. No more complicated exchanges or long waits, just seamless transfers. This feature made Pi practical for everyday use, especially for small businesses and users in developing countries. It turned Pi from a speculative asset into a real tool for commerce. Now, people could confidently use and accept Pi, knowing they could access their money anytime. The line between digital and traditional money was finally blurred. By late 2025, Pi's user base had reached a staggering size. 17.5 million people had successfully completed KYC, putting Pi in the same league as some of the world's most popular financial apps. This milestone wasn't just a number, it represented a global community, with users from every continent, all drawn to the promise of a new kind of digital currency. The excitement was palpable, both online and at major tech conferences, where Pi's growth was a hot topic of discussion. Of those millions, an impressive 15.7 million users migrated their Pi to the mainnet, a clear sign of strong engagement and belief in the project's future. This mass migration was one of the largest in crypto history, and it showed that Pi's community was not just large, but also highly active and invested in the network's success. But with millions suddenly able to sell their coins, the price story quickly became dramatic and unpredictable. The market was flooded with duxlars and eager buyers, creating a whirlwind of activity that caught the attention of both seasoned investors and curious newcomers. Pi's price soared to a peak of $3 shortly after the mainnet launch, sparking excitement and hope for early adopters. But as the year went on, the price tumbled, dropping to just $0.20 by year's end, a classic crypto roller coaster that left many feeling both exhilarated and anxious. Many early miners, seeing the rapid price drop, decided to cash out. This led to disappointment for some and sparked tough questions about the project's long-term sustainability and the true value of the token. Yet, despite the price volatility, the network's core fundamentals continued to grow. More developers joined the ecosystem, new apps were launched, and transaction volumes steadily increased, signaling that the underlying technology was gaining real traction. By the end of 2025, about 8.37 billion PI were in circulation, and the market cap stood at $169 billion. These numbers highlighted Pi's significant presence in the crypto world, even as the price per token remained under pressure. The huge supply of tokens put downward pressure on the price, but the conversation began to shift. Instead of focusing solely on speculation, the community and developers started emphasizing real-world utility. How Pi could be used in everyday life, from payments to new digital services. The big question now was clear. Could Pi become more than just another traded token? Could it evolve into a currency with real, lasting value and practical uses? The answer would depend on the community's ability to build real, meaningful uses for the currency, apps, services, and solutions that people actually wanted and needed. As 2025 drew to a close, it was clear that the next phase for Pi was all about utility, not hype. The future would be shaped by how well Pi could move beyond speculation and become a true part of people's daily lives. The real test for Pi in 2025 was simple. Could you actually spend it? With Open Mainnet Live, businesses worldwide began accepting Pi for goods and services. Coffee shops, artisans, and freelancers joined the movement, putting up Pi accepted here signs. The Pi browser became a hub for these early marketplaces, letting users spend their mined coins directly. The Community Commerce Initiative launched, connecting users with Pi-friendly merchants. Price volatility made things tricky, But the community's belief in Pi's future kept the ecosystem growing. For the first time, Pi was more than a number on a screen. It was a real currency in daily life. In 2025, Pi's growth wasn't just about users, it was about building a strong foundation. Integration with Banxa made fiat to crypto on-ramps easier, and Banxa's acquisition of 10 million Pi signaled confidence. The network upgraded to support smart contracts, opening the door to DeFi, NFTs, and more. Pi launched a $100 million venture fund to support new projects with its first investment in OpenMind. Pi became tradable on 12 KYC-verified exchanges, boosting liquidity and access. While top-tier listings like Binance remained out of reach, these steps were crucial for legitimacy. Each upgrade and partnership laid the groundwork for Pi's future as a real blockchain platform. 2025 brought excitement, but also real challenges for Pi. The token's price crash from $3 to $0.20 shook confidence and frustrated many users. Massive token unlocks and a concentrated supply in a few wallets raised fears of inflation and market crashes. Critics, including industry leaders and regulators, questioned Pi's transparency and long development timeline. Warnings from authorities in China and skepticism from major exchanges made mainstream acceptance harder. Institutional investors stayed away, citing unclear tokenomics and governance. Despite a huge user base, Pi struggled to win over the broader market. The project had people, but needed trust and legitimacy to secure its future. The next steps would be critical for long-term stability. After a turbulent 2025, Pi's future depends on delivering real-world utility. Price recovery will only come if people have reasons to use and hold Pi beyond speculation. The ecosystem must expand, with new apps and services driving daily use. A partnership with CIDI Games in early 2026 could bring new users through blockchain gaming. Full smart contract support will unlock DeFi, exchanges, and lending on Pi. The team must improve communication, push for more merchant adoption, and secure top-tier exchange listings. Success will be measured by real usage, not just price. Pi's challenge: prove it can become a sustainable digital economy. Stepping back, Pi Network's mission is simple: put cryptocurrency in everyone's hands. It's about making digital money accessible, no matter your background or tech skills. The journey has been tough: skepticism, price drops, and real challenges. Yet a community of over 17 million verified users is a remarkable achievement. The open mainnet, instant bank connections, and real-world commerce are just the beginning. Pi's success will be decided by the people who use it, not just traders or critics. If it can help people transact globally and easily, Pi will have fulfilled its bold vision.